Hello group. Pretty sure this is the first live in here, so yay. Okay, so I want to share what's been happening with me lately in the hope that it can help you as well. And I don't know if this is a current energy that people are experiencing or everyone's experienced, or if it's just my experience, but the last few days have been challenging. And I used to be someone who used to follow the planets and the moons and everything else that was happening, and I no longer attach to that. So I don't listen to people when they're talking about what's happening out there, etc., etc. But I'm noticing for myself something that has happened the last few days, and it's been pretty intense. And it's very much related to how this group was created and the projection through it, towards it, around it, and the expansion of it. So if you don't know who I am and what I do, I'm someone who started, and I'm not going to bore you with the whole story of going down the spiritual journey, yada, yada, yada. And then along that journey, 20 months ago, losing my husband, etc. And then moving through this whole, I don't even know if spiritual journey or awakening is the correct terms that we should use anymore. It's just, to me now, the experience is more of me and my journey towards self-mastery into understanding myself and the things I want to do and moving through that. And part of that was such a big part of what the last few days was. So the lead up towards this group and how this was created was not based on a brand new idea or something that I'd never done before, because I have created many programs, many different training ideas and offers, and there's actually a whole whiteboard behind me, which is part of this movement that I was on recently of really going over everything of when we set out to create something and we have these intentions, we listen to our intuitive thoughts, we're all clear, we're focused, we get this idea, and it's like, yes, let's go do this thing. And based on the information we have, we will either use the tools that we already have of the things we know, the things we've learned. If there's things we don't know, we will seek it from outside. We'll find other people to help us, and we'll go, yes, let's do this thing. And we start doing it, and at some point in time, it stops. We lose momentum. We don't continue with the plan, or we start doubting it, or we get distracted, or we divert ourselves. And this is something that I have mostly done for most of the things that I create. It's this new thing is coming in. It's so in tune. This is what I'm going to do right now. And at some stage, oh, maybe I should be doing this. Oh, maybe I could do that. And possibly they are all great ideas. So what would happen for me is I would either create that thing all the way through and ignore what that distraction was, or I would stop that thing I was doing and then I would go off and do this other thing. So none of these things were actually growing. And part of this group and how it came about is the last thing I was doing was something that was really huge, because I was trying to bring my big vision into play without sort of focusing on the pieces and the foundations. So I hired myself a very high level expensive coach to help me try and find a way to really get that basis and to get over that stopping and starting and that losing interest or losing that momentum. And that's how this group was created. This is how I started creating this whole plan and this whole training. And what's happened over the last few weeks is it started with one heading, it started with steps, it started with this format, and it grew and it changed, which is fine. It was becoming more of what I wanted to embody, what I wanted to share. And the more I spoke about it, the more I was creating things for it. Because with it, what I've done is I've created all new social media accounts. So it's this group, it's a brand new TikTok, a brand new YouTube channel, brand new Facebook page, brand new Instagram page. So obviously, when you are starting out, these things can be really slow moving. And even though I'm someone who says that that's not important, that's not discouraging, there's still a part of you deep down in there that's, no one liked my video, no one's reading my post, no one's engaging in this, no one's looking at this. So we lose that oomph we had when we first had that idea. So what happened for me over the last few days is working with my coach and him highlighting a few different things that I really had to look into. It was like cleaning out the fish tank, because I would categorize myself as someone who knows how to do everything. I've done all the spirituality, I've done all the healing, I've done all the creating. And it's true, there's lots of things that I have done, but it was like a reshuffling of it all. Like when you clean out a fish tank and you know how that gross stuff comes up to the water, and you've got to wait till it all settles again because it's all murky. That's how I feel. That's where I've been the last few days, and it's been really interesting to see how when I had this plan for this group and the live training that I had planned for 5 days next week to start the warm-up, pretty sure it was this Friday, and all the things I was excited about talking about, the common theme was that I was finding that it's not actually the end thing that we create. So if you look, and I'll show you, I actually wrote all these on bits of paper. These are all the things I created over the last 2.5 years, and there's a lot. But all of those things, it wasn't about the end. It wasn't about the thing that I was creating. It was about the movement towards it, the expression or the idea that came from with who I am. And this is when I see it as these are our coded frequencies of who we are. These are these luminescent pieces that come to the surface to want to be seen and expressed. And you know, my catchphrase of the big brand of who I am as the dark luminaire is in the disruption of the luminescence that matter is created, which means that we listen to those coded frequencies of who we are. They are the things that are driving us towards the things that we want to create, the things we want to do, the things we want to say, the things we want to offer. And when we listen to them and when we allow them to express themselves in whatever way they express themselves, it allows us to deepen that understanding and expansion of who we are. And to me, that's how we grow into ourselves. Instead of looking for something that's wrong or looking for something that isn't working, by listening to the things that we want to do, the things that we receive those little ideas and it's, oh, I feel like doing that. And moving through that process of creating that thing is what is then going to highlight any of those fears. It's going to highlight any shadows or anything that says, oh no, you can't do that. Oh no, that's not going to work. Or something will happen in the process that you're doing where you will need to reevaluate. You will question yourself. You will see distractions. You will see all these things happening. But it's in the creation of whatever that creation is that is helping you grow. So all those programs and courses and different businesses that I've created, it wasn't actually about getting to that end point of creating something that was making millions of dollars. It was more of me moving through that process to find out more about myself, to move closer to the things I want, to lose and shed away the things that don't resonate or the things that I see that I'm still holding on to that I don't want to. Because even with me thinking that I know everything, I have all the tools, I still shouldn't be in this place of questioning things. The last few days, normally when I've been in those spaces, that's where you end up and you burn it all down and you end up doing nothing. But it was like, come on, like, what are you doing? It was literally me swearing, yelling, screaming at myself. What is wrong with you? Like, what is stopping you from keep doing things? And before you would look for a fear, you would look for a shadow, you would look for something within yourself that you thought that was wrong because you were not continuing on the path that you had originally set out to complete. But what I realized is that there was no fear, there was no hidden layer, there was no deep shadow, there was no inner child healing that I needed to do. Even with me trying to make the choice, I was still having that holding back, and I wasn't getting that feeling of when I'm like, yes, let's do this. And then I realized it's me looking for that dopamine hit, looking for that high of thinking that the only way I can move forward with these ideas and with these things that I want to create is by getting a high or getting a hit or getting that oomph to do it. When in fact, all I had to do was just do it. Even if it wasn't always something, whereas before I'd be like, yes, let's do this. It was still, but I've got this plan and I've got this idea and I still want to share this voice and I still want to share this training and I still want to speak about this thing and I still want to help people with this. So why am I letting myself look for something wrong with me when all I have to do is continue those steps? So that's why I'm here now doing this live. So this morning I've woken up and gone, nope, we're not doing this anymore, because I know there's many times we can get pulled down into that questioning, into that fear. And yes, we all have experiences. We all have, traumatic events or things that have happened in our life that have proven to us that when we express ourselves, when we show up as ourselves, when we do things that are in our own truth, that people can knock us down and people can not enjoy it, not like it, not engage. And even though we still have those fears, there is a level when you get to, once you've originally done some of that healing, where you think that that is the thing that is holding you back, but it's actually not. It's actually that it's like a new pattern that you have created. Oh, I'm not doing the thing that I want to. That must mean I have to go look for something else to fix. And it's not about that. It's stepping into that. And this is why when we get into these lulls, why we start joining new groups, we start joining new programs, or we get coaches, because I know, and I'm sure you will know as well, is when you work with someone, when you're in that energetic space of people who are moving forward and people who are saying the right things and people are really engaging with where your mind is and what you're thinking about in the moment, and together collectively you're all moving towards your own individual goals, you achieve so much more because there's actually people who are on that path with you. And it's like that. I have this whole pack behind me of doing these things together, and we're working on these things together and we're moving towards it. But then at some stage you're like, okay, I've got this, I'm doing this myself. And it's just like when you're learning to ride a bike and you have the training wheels on, and then at one stage you're like, okay, take them off, let me go. And then you go on your own, and then you realize you don't have that motivation anymore, you don't have that drive, and it can be super difficult to get that boost from within yourself when you're so used to receiving it from outside of you. But it's in the allowance and the knowing of all those things that you've learned when you were in those groups, when you were working with people, when you have been through that programs, of remembering all those tools and things that you have learned and finding a way that works for you to keep you motivated. And when you can't push through those things and you can't find a way to continue, reach out and find other people who can. I know I even tried recently, I tried to go back to some of the books that used to motivate me, or listening to certain people and thinking, oh, I remember when I used to listen to this person's, giving me that drive to keep going and wanting me to keep moving forward. And then it's like the moment's gone. It's no longer having that moment that it did, because we're going back into the past again. We're trying to relive something else instead of trying to create something new and find a way through it in a way that works for us, knowing that we already have the tools and the drive to help us to continue. So sometimes we just need to sort of sit in that and allow those moments to come through. Because for me, what I actually started painting because I didn't want to create things when I was in a space of lack, in a space of not having that drive to continue forward. And I'm telling you, the painting actually helped, because it allowed me to express myself where I didn't need to use words. And instead of sitting down just overthinking and sitting in your head thinking about, how do I sort this out? How do I do this? How do I find that? What's wrong with me? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Doing my painting allowed me to just let go of it all. And clearly it's helped, because I'm back in the seat of just doing things. But it is definitely something that I know everyone experiences, and for me it happens many times. And I know everyone has different skill sets. They're able to move through things in different ways that works for them. So there's nothing wrong with that if that happens for you when you have an idea and you want to create something. And just like this, I create short videos. Now that I'm back in that mindset that I wanted to really be able to share it and express it in the way that I want, it's going to come from a better place, from doing it from a space of, I'm doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because other people want to hear it. It's always going to be more about your experience and how you move through it, and sharing that with people in order so that they can resonate and they can find their own truth within that, and they can listen to the things that you talk about and the things that you, doesn't mean they need to do it, because that's that's my strongest belief, is gaining enough knowledge and enough power within who you are that you can then create your own way to do your social media strategies, to do, if you need to do healing, to whatever it is. Having enough of that knowing and understanding of who you are to move forward with creating things that work for you, but still finding those pieces when you need help from other people and getting what you need from them. And I can tell you from experience, going back doesn't help. Going back over things when you're in a new level of awareness, definitely. I have rewatched some things or reheard some things that I heard a while ago, and now they just hit different. So there's a difference between relearning the things that you need to hear and then trying to relive an experience or a feeling based on something you had received earlier on. So if you do get stuck, if you do get these ideas and you do find yourself really sort of dipping at some stage in there, try and find some ways to work around that. If you know that that's something that happens for you, what I have actually even started creating as well is an actual strategy. My strategy, not a strategy that people tell you to do. And it can change, but having a loose format of when you're in that moment, when you are fully in your own power and you are expressing whatever it is you want to express, and you put down those steps. I would like to do this. What works with me? I want to work on this platform. I want to express myself over here. I want to do this over here, and use that at least as a loose strategy. And if you know that you are going to dip, set up some backups in there. So if you were someone who said, I want to show up every day on TikTok with a video, if you know at some stage that there's going to be a day that you're not going to be interested, create more than one in a day and have that as a backup. So when you're not really feeling into it, you have that as something to move into. So if you are feeling like crap and it has been really hard to move through, I get it. Trust me. I know what it's like, but there's always the other side of that. There's always, you can't stay in that one spot forever. That's what I think about. And I also now have that drive and passion of where I'm going to get through it no matter what. I'm going to keep going no matter what. Even in those moments where I'm telling myself, no, don't do that. No, don't keep doing that. No, stop doing that. No, go do something else. I'm still going to do stuff. I'm still going to move forward. I'm still going to try and be the master of myself and really get to know myself in a way that really expresses my truest authenticity and, the luminescence, the codes of who we are, and just step into those creation pieces and hopefully help others along the way. Because I can tell you, after going over that list, I'm going to flip my board over. I'll put a photo in here and show you. I know how to create. If you want ideas on how to create a new offer, a new course, a workshop, a book on Amazon, a print on demand company, you ask me. I've done it. I can tell you, I know how to create things. It's the drive and how clear our energy is behind that creation, and allowing that creation to show us who we are and the things that we can look at in order to expand ourselves and experience new things and really get to have everything that we really want in this human existence around us. So good luck, guys. If you're feeling like I've been the last few days, there's another side coming. You've got this, you can do this. And if there's anything you're working on, and you want help with, let me know, because I'm ready. I'm ready to create.